Take two.
Guys, I shouted to fuck that. Hello, everyone.
Neighbours at 3.
Welcome back to the Cyberathletics podcast.
Yeah, hello.
The best podcast in esports.
How does this sound? Does it sound like
Very
ASMR?
ASMR-ish, a bit scary. It feels like you're inside me.
Not going to overdo that. Well, if you want. Only if you want.
I don't think my girlfriend would appreciate that.
If you consent, I might.
Oh, nor would I, actually. I would not appreciate that either.
Need written, signed consent.
Oh, God. So this one is not entirely themed. There are a bunch of topics that have gone on. But we will package this up nicely in the post and make it seem themed and clickbaity. So thanks for clicking.
Thank you. In it, they're clicking on thinking we have a strategy because by this point we'll have recorded it. Maybe we know like roughly what we spoke about, so then we can come up with like a clickbait title. But like at this point now where we're recording, we actually don't know what we're going to say really. I have a couple of topics, but the strategy is not there at all.
No, the best strategy is no strategy.
That's what they say, innit? That's what Jeff Bezos said, I think.
Exactly. And me and him are both bald, so we both have that level of knowledge. I think that's how it works. But so we've got a bit of Saudi, a bit of not paying people, a bit of public companies failing, a bit of
positive
Counter-Strike.
Don't know if there is one, but let's try and think of a positive one.
Oh, shit.
We'll try and think as we're going through it.
I'm excited for Counter-Strike 2. That's positive.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited for
FaZe Clan to be delisted from the Nasdaq.
Yeah, well, I've got
by
a bit
November
more,
2023.
We've got a bit more info on that, which the experts will have known probably, but if not, a bit more colour as far as... So their share price is like even worse than when we last recorded. I think when we last recorded it was like... I can't remember what it was. It was because it's literally still been going down. So it's been below $1 for ages.
$0.42.
Yeah, so that's what it's at now. I think when we recorded, it was either 0.6 odd or a bit higher than that. But it's just been going down and down and down, so it's even lower. Now, the chances of them actually getting delisted, I think, are pretty slim because they get sent basically a warning, like, we're going to start the delisting process, like you're not fulfilling your minimum obligation. Yeah. At which point, FaZe then has, I think, 180 days to like figure something out. At which point they could do a reverse share consolidation. What's the name of it? I need to wait. I did have it written down. Reverse share split, which is basically where you can consolidate shares. So you say you do like a 10-1. You take basically 10 shares and put them into one, and that boosts the price. So, and I'll put you a quote. So that's probably what FaZe is going to do based on someone I spoke to. I spoke to Tobias, who people know, Tobias Sek, who was an Esports Observer, who really knows his stuff. I spoke to him about this, and he told me this. So remaining relevant and avoiding being delisted are the most common reasons for corporations to pursue this strategy. Talking about a reverse share split. That's from Investopedia. So basically, that's going to be FaZe's like, well, that's probably what FaZe is going to do if the share price stays low, which it probably will. And yeah, so it's not looking good for FaZe, man. It's like really, really bad.
Have you looked at their market cap recently?
Yeah, it's like 30 mil or something like that.
It's 30 mil. So they went from what they said was $1 billion.
First $1 billion
organization. They've lost almost $1 billion in value in 18 months since October 2021.
That is next level, that, isn't it? And they're not totally esports, but it's either way, it's a massive, massive face.
But like, if you look at how they like brand themselves these days, if you go on like their social media bios and stuff, it'll say like 37-time esports champions. Like it's right up there. Like they're claiming like esports is a valid thing. Even though like Rain and Tico are coming out against them recently, which isn't going to help the share price. Like long time like members and somewhat founders basically saying like, yeah, esports is not FaZe. FaZe is all about the creators and like we're not friends. And I think like FaZe Blaze, the one who tried having some sort of music career and absolutely tanked his own career by doing so. I think he was basically saying the same thing. Like, yeah, I'm not really friends with most of these guys. That like Temper kicked me out of the house and all this kind of stuff. So, like from the very top, like the creators of the organization, the founders, I guess, who work alongside Lee Trink to make the decisions. Apparently, that's how they frame it, at least. Where I imagine have got literally basically no control. Even they're saying like, yeah, FaZe is not FaZe anymore. And it's just like, oh, why are you saying this now when the company's almost like bankrupt, for fuck's sake? Like, there's all the times in the world you can say this. Now you're basically just putting the nail in the coffin for the organization, I feel. You know what I mean? Because like, yeah, you're not going to get rid of all those and retain a lot of the fans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
I remember I spoke to Lee Trink. It was ages ago, but I remember asking him just about like the esports side of it, because I interviewed him for SI ages ago, and he said the esports side of it gives FaZe its legitimacy. Basically, was what he said. Which I get. I'm not saying that's like a bad thing. I'm just saying that's how they think about esports. Like that's how they came up on like the gaming content and then the kind of professional gaming, and they have won a lot of like honors, a lot of trophies and stuff. But yeah, like they see that as the legitimacy side of it. I think whether they still do, I don't know. That was in like 2021, but yeah.
I wonder if like the crypto scams were for legitimacy reasons as well. Was that part of the strategy?
yeah, I know. It's
all that hard work in esports.
They've made so many silly errors, bro.
Just keeping banks is a huge fucking error. That man is a walking red flag, and I don't really use that phrase, but he's just an absolute div.
Yeah. So
he's just a brand risk entirely. So yeah, everyone's coming out against them. They're their own brand champions, effectively coming out against them. They're losing the share price and market cap plummeting. I checked, and this is the lowest their share price has ever been. So they're at a nice all-time low at the moment, and I don't imagine this is going to be the lowest they ever get to. So yeah, things don't look good for FaZe.
There's another thing that Tobias mentioned that they could do.
Okay.
So apparently the people that will be most annoyed or like left holding the bag the most are B. Riley. So you know the company that were already listed that
now.
FaZe through the SPAC deal. Stop.
Sorry,
Stop
I am 10 years old.
So they one option is they just buy the company outright. And basically just completely restructure the company, like get a brand new team and brand new board of directors, everything. Like take advantage of the fact that the price is really low.
I don't think the quote-unquote culture would like that.
No,
if you gutted FaZe for FaZe, like get rid of the people. It's the people who make FaZe basically at this point, like with any sort of worth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's like when Immortals owned Optic. It's basically like, not my Optic. That would like the whole green wall would just like, yeah, this is not right.
Yeah,
and
you're
like
right.
You can say you're Optic, but you're not. So if you've got a bunch of people who are not FaZe running FaZe,
true.
I don't imagine it's a smart move.
Yeah, that's probably a good point, actually. Yeah. But then again, then you would have like actual knowledgeable business people in charge that would just, I don't know,
maybe be able to rein it in
a little bit. Yeah, true.
No, like knowledgeable businessmen don't operate in esports at this point. You know what I mean? They get out.
Well, a lot of them are leaving, aren't they? Like we spoke about that in the last episode, where some of the executives in the industry are leaving, and if they do, they start doing it like a greater rate.
Yeah,
and
obviously, like
about where esports is.
The biggest departure from esports, which shows that it's dying, is me. Of course, no, I'm joking. No,
that's facts. Nah,
like when I'm gone, it's game over.
I think a lot of these brands were happy to see the back of you, to be honest, mate.
Whatever they're into. But so, how are other public esports companies like Astralis and such doing?
I was literally just going to say that.
I know it's called a segue.
If you look across, so put some public companies. Yeah, we got Game Square,
which is Complexity.
They fall into what I'm about to say a bit less than the others, but so you got FaZe, you got Game Square, you've got Enthusiast, you've got Enthusiast, which is Luminosity and
Vancouver Titans, Seattle Surge.
Yeah. Guild Esports, the face plant embarrassment that is Guild Esports, Astralis, X1 Entertainment, and Rivalry, the betting company, is another
was
one.
Rix.gg.
X1. Yeah, well, they acquired
X1.
Rix and then basically just made it disappear. They just killed it. They've done that with like 3 things. It's like a portfolio company. Like I said, they acquired 2 Rocket League websites.
Shift,
Rix,
RLE, and Octane.
Yeah, that's the one. They are the 2, I should say. So Rix, what's the other thing that they did? They acquired a talent company, like a gaming talent company, Tyrus, rebranded it to X1, and that just disappeared. And so if you look at X1, this is a funny one to look at. So,
do you think they're just money laundering? That's a question, not an allegation.
Yeah, I mean, so nothing's happening on the. I suppose it is. I was going to say nothing's happening on the share price. It just won't move for days, and it's at 0.02 Canadian dollars. So, but it's been that for ages. So, I think they're just done. I think that company's just done. Like I said, they owe loads of people money. Their portfolio companies have just kind of disappeared. So I think they're just done.
No, they are.
Yeah, so that's not going well. You've obviously got Guild. I feel like we're rehashing a little bit on the other episode, but who cares? Not everyone watched that, I guess. Guild had like £1.6 million worth of cash left in the last annual report. Which and the auditors basically said like they need more money, otherwise they won't survive, essentially. So yeah, I really don't know what's going to happen with Guild. It doesn't.
Have they brought in any new partners?
No, I don't think. They just partnered with like an AI company or something. Like talent something, not talent scouting. I don't even know. But it didn't. I don't think it screams cash anyway. I think it's just like a partnership. So, but yeah, so they just
that's
need
always been a thing in their financial reports. They would always be like, "We have 89 deals in the works." You know what I mean? Like, and most of them will come into fruition. It's like, no, you've sent 89 emails, you cunts. Like,
yeah, I remember reading that last year. Yeah, exactly what you just said. It's embarrassing that you would even include that. That can't be common to include that in an annual report.
No, and so Carlton Curtis left. The CEO, executive chairman. What's his name? I can't remember. I've spoken to him a lot in the past.
Cal Hurd, no?
Yes. He's left as well, right?
He was the CEO, he left towards the end of last year.
Michelle Turney left. So, leadership-wise, complete change there. From that's either going to be a really good thing or just the nail in the coffin, effectively. Mm-hmm. I don't know who's taking it over, do you?
A CEO?
Yeah, it was like leading it.
I think her name's Jasmine Ski, the new CEO. She's been working with them. She wasn't full-time for a while. She was I can't remember the name of it. Basically interim chief marketing or chief revenue officer or something like that, I think.
Right.
Yeah, no, honestly, it's chaos at Guild.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it still is. I think it looks to be settling down a little bit, but still, with the cash needs, what are they actually going to do? I really don't know.
I know they just sold a female Valorant player to G2, presuming it was sold and not released. Right. But Giuliano at G2 from G2 goes and went over to their CSGO team, which is G2. Oh yeah, is literally what it is. And
I know, yeah.
Which it feels very G2. I respect it in a sense, even though it is minging. And they needed an IGL and they brought Lass over from Guild. So I wonder if there's been a bit of a payout there, which will give them a little bit of cash. But obviously restructuring their Beckham deal, which they framed as a positive, which was clearly a result of negativity and things not going well.
It's definitely a positive that they got off that deal, but yeah, it signifies that they're properly fucked. If they didn't restructure that, they do go out of business, definitely.
Definitely. Just giving him $5 million a year.
Yeah, it's mad.
So I think as a world, and this is something we can come back on when it comes true, because it will, that probably in the next 18 months, Guild just dissolves or like gets bought out by Excel or something. Or you know what I mean? Like they'll just maybe keep the academy infrastructure or something.
Yeah, there'll be. It won't look how it looks right now, I don't think.
I don't think
No
it
matter
exists
what.
as it is.
Yeah, no, I don't. I think that. So there was the whole thing with they released their annual report, their latest annual report, and it said that they were in the process of raising another round of funding, and then they backtracked like a few hours later. So
I
I
remember that,
think,
yeah.
yeah. So I spoke to someone who basically reckons it could be because they had investors on board, and then because they didn't renew a couple of sponsorship deals or something, or like another reason as well, they got spooked and like backed out last minute. So then they had to kind of rephrase the annual report. So they need to. So they are, even though some fucking bullshit about an article I wrote for ESI, they reached out and said we're not currently seeking another round of funding, but everyone knows they are. They said they were before, and the auditor said that if they don't, they literally won't be able to operate. Despite all that, they said, "Oh no, we're not looking for funding." Just like really weird and confusing. They are looking for funding, and they will be doing a funding round. Who will invest? I have no idea.
Maybe Michael Owen or something.
True, not a bad shout, Mr.
But
Boring.
yeah, so I think it's not like a big brain play to say they're probably not going to last. Like it just makes sense, and we've been pretty much right on. I'd say 95% of the predictions we've made since we started recording these little things have come true or are looking like they're still going to come true. Like have barely been disproven. So like they're just obvious things to people who pay some sort of attention, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I think some people are overly optimistic about stuff, whereas we've been suitably pessimistic, and it's proven right.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know just with myself, I'm not just a pessimistic person. So if I'm pessimistic about something, it's because I really believe it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not just like a bitter person. I don't think you are either. So
I
it's just.
very much am. But
Oh mate, no.
I
One thing
myself well.
I was going to open this video with something to segue us onto a fun topic straight away. Have you seen the Esports Illustrated stuff?
Yep.
Don't look good. That
So
does it? It really doesn't
I
look good.
back when was it the Certo or ESI? At one point, maybe in between, like around there, I was supposed to have a meet. Well, I had a call with them, and they wanted to launch it with like me as the editor. And I think they were just going around asking a bunch of people because I know at one point Sports Illustrated, when ESPN fucked off out of esports, I know they were offering money to the ESPN crew, Jacob Wolf, Theon and stuff, trying to get them. So they've been eyeing it up for a few years. It's an interesting time to come in now, though clearly it's just basically their branding they're putting on it. It's like Beckham and Guild. It's like it's a non-committal, but you're putting your name against it, which is the risk. But other than that, you're not having to do any of the heavy lifting. It seems like that. But like you look at the people they've got in, and they know fuck all about esports. I'm sorry. I want to be positive about it, and yeah, a new site's coming in and it's hopefully paying people. That's good. I want to be positive about that. There's another place for people to go and write and earn a living doing hopefully good journalism. But let's be fucking real, mate. Like you just know, 18 months, 2 years, it's gone. Like 100%. Again, it's another one because it always happens with this scenario.
Yeah.
What are they going to do that's different?
Well, yeah, and as a freelancer, that is like a potential
Get your money,
employer
boy.
kind of. Well, yeah, and like no, I've spoken to. I think.
Sorry if I'm effing anything up for you.
Mate,
here.
I'm the one that mentioned it. Listen. I may well burn a bridge today, but so I first saw this. I heard about it like I don't know 6 months ago, 9 months ago. I saw it somewhere online, and I was like, "Oh, Sports Illustrated are doing esports. That sounds pretty cool." So I emailed. I think the person that's editor in chief or like someone, I don't know who I messaged, but I messaged him and I said, well, I obviously just said like, here's what I've written in the past and like, it'd be cool if I could write for you, blah, blah, blah. And I spoke to him a bit more recently as well. Nothing's really come of it. I sent a portfolio. They said like, oh yeah, good portfolio, but then nothing's come of that. And that was a few weeks ago. So, and like, bearing in mind this was before it launched, so like, I mean, I would still write for him for sure, but I've got to be honest, like, you look at mostly on social media, honestly, the execution is just so, like you said, it's just not going to be around. What is presumably Sports Illustrated is funding it to some degree. So, like, where does this go?
Yeah.
Where does it go? Like, there's not, the social media is awful. I read one piece, which I think was like a paid piece. I'm not totally against paid piece, as long as it's fucking interesting and like good and well written. I don't give a shit if it's paid really, as long as it gives me something. It gave me nothing. Can't remember who was paying for it. Yeah, it just doesn't look good at all. It's like a proper. So far, it looks hopeless, like really hopeless.
Oh, this website's bad.
Oh, you on? Also, what kind of did piss me off as the assistant editor freelance of Esports Insider, your alma mater, my alma mater, they're calling themselves ESI with like the same color scheme, and they've even tweeted about it. And it's like, fuck off! Like, not being funny. Like, why would you? I get it. Like, you want to make a joke about it, but like, why would you even?
It shows a lack of knowledge in the
Like
space.
a lack of awareness
of
the industry. Yeah, definitely.
Because I tweeted something like new ESI just dropped and tagged Sam, and they put like dibs, and all of their little cronies and employees went and liked the dibs tweet. And I'm like, right, if you're trying to have a laugh, that's cool, but like, don't actually try and make it serious. In my mind, that was them being like, yeah, we're the real ESI. It's like, no one knows you. You will not be around. But you know, ESI will outlast it. The real ESI will outlast it. But yeah, to me, I was just like, oh, they just don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
that's just what I thought. Like, they'd not done research, and if they had, they were too deep in the branding process to be able to change it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like the website is piss poor. So
I thought it'd be similar, to like Launcher, where you get people in that are actually like. I mean, I don't know the people's background that are actually running it.
The arena group.
Get people in that are actually like professionals. You know, like at Washington Post, you've got Mikhail, you've got his name Mike, the guy that heads it up. Mike Hume. You've got a couple of others who are like professional, good editors and journalists. I thought that would be the case with Sports Illustrated.
To make it even better, the people that are basically running it for Sports Illustrated call themselves G3.
Oh, God.
So G2 was obviously the failed G4 revival, and these are G3. It's a Goldhammer Gaming Group.
Right, okay.
And they run slot games.
Right, okay. What?
And they say they're at the forefront of real money video gaming, which is a comprehensive gaming solution for regulated skill-based and video game wagering. And then they've got wagerable games, and it shows like a jackpot arcade thing in the illustration. And then they've got Esports Illustrated. These are the people running it for Sports Illustrated. G3.
Yeah, so it's a bit yeah, it is, man, and it is a bit of a red flag that like you and me you've been in the space longer than I have and been doing it at like a higher level for longer than I have, but we've been in the space for a while, and like I didn't recognize any of their names of the people that are doing this. Like
there was like one person probably from Upcomer or Dot who was just like a news writer, and that was about it.
Yeah, like fucking good luck to him. I hope it goes well because I want to fucking get paid by more clients, but don't look good, does it, fam?
No. So this esports website, one of the articles is how to defeat some weird name in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So they're going the Upcomer route. They're just covering fucking Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, getting the traffic from there and saying they're an esports publication, and then doing like the best gun to use in COD Modern Warfare 2 ranked. Like, bro, like a clip, but it's almost slightly encouraging that they're doing that because I hate that content and I hate it. I do, but it's necessary. So at least they're not just going all out and like trying to do super elite esports shit, you know. But they need some of the like Deserto needed a Richard Lewis and needed a Louise and needed me, I think, personally, as like a legitimacy thing in esports because you've got no claim to esports without like some proper esports journalists.
The only reason
Esports Illustrated needs that, I think, as well. So it could do with you, but like I don't think they'd want the hard-hitting financial business stuff from you. I think they'd want something softer, more game-based. You know what I mean?
You know what I thought it would be, again, just to touch on what I thought it'd be beforehand. Like I thought they would, like I said, it'd have the funding of of Sports Illustrated and like have the professionalism of that outlet. And obviously, Sports Illustrated is a magazine, so I thought maybe he'd have some like the opportunity for some esports magazine style pieces. Like deep features and like looking at things from like a story perspective, written really kind of lyrically and I would love to write shit like that, but it's not going to be that at all. It's going to be SEO bullshit, and yeah, and it annoys me that they even put the esports tag on it. To be honest, if this is what they're going to do, if it's not going to be esports really,
yeah,
and again,
it's
it
just
shows
better than like
misunderstanding.
Gaming Illustrated or something. It's got that brand
I mean,
recognition.
it's a good name.
It
on that,
almost
on that front.
legitimizes the website instantly by having the Sports Illustrated name in there.
That's
you
true,
can see why
actually.
they've done it. Like this G3 wouldn't just create their own website and try and make it work because they couldn't. They're like relying on the brand name of Sports Illustrated in my mind to make it work.
It's very true. It's very true.
But that is a fun topic, mainly because they call themselves G3. That's the funniest part of it. And the fact that, they're just like, it was an absolute nightmare. Roll out. Let me see where they're at on Twitter now. Well, I can't because it's not linked on their website. Oh, it is in the menu. It's weird. As their categories, they've got pro, which I think means like esports. I think is what it means. And then League of Legends, Valorant, COD, Collegiate, and Health. Health's an interesting one. But then if you look at what's showing up for it, it's not Health at all. But yeah, big 702 followers. Engagement rate, oh god, getting 1,000 impressions on their memes. So they've got a long way to go. But again, I welcome websites that are going to come in, try and do things right and pay people. Like, I respect that. So I hope they do manage to make it succeed and produce good stuff and host good journalism. But you see this every 6 months. And it's just another upcomer, 100% in my mind. So I don't know. Wouldn't maybe dot or gamers or whatever will take over at some point.
yeah,
that seems to happen, doesn't it?
Did you want to touch on Adam Apicella leaving Esports?
I do not want to touch Adam Apicella. He's a big scary man, but we can discuss his news.
That's fine.
Did you want to take the lead, or do you want me to?
It's up to you. I thought you might have more to say. I mean, I have some stuff to say on it, but
so
I think you know him a bit better than I do.
Was it the last episode or the one before? We recorded 2 in the same week, where I basically said how disappointed I was with Sundance and with Mike Sepso. And I said, I don't know about Apicella because it seems like he may leave, which I would respect. And while he's not explicitly said why he's leaving, though he has confirmed he is leaving and will start something new after a bit of a break, which a break will do fucking wonders for him. He's been grinding for forever. You have to assume it's one of two things, but so it's either there's no room for him under the new corporate structure, or he doesn't agree with the consolidation / Saudi ownership. The way the announcement was written suggests to me that it was his choice to leave. So I don't think it was the former option of ESL Faceit Group / Savvy Gaming Group / Public Investment Fund fucking him off. I don't think it was that, because why would you not want him? If you've got that company, you want him running it. Like, let's be fucking real. Like, he's the best in the industry at doing this shit. So he keeps those people ticking. Like, you can tell he's a real team-based person, like a human first. He is a complete grinder, but he takes care of those around him and wants to do things right. So in my mind, it's a principle-based thing. Either he doesn't like the consolidation with other tournament organizers and stuff, or he doesn't like the Saudi involvement and it doesn't sit right with him. I wonder if he's getting paid out for this, since he's like the founder of Esports Engine. It would kind of be baller to take their money and then tell them to fuck off.
He must get a bit of a payout, and I hope he has.
I'm sure.
I really do hope. That might be why it's taken this long, because he must have known about the whole...
Waiting for the wire to come in.
The wire transfer. Yeah. Well, yeah, because like he must have known... He must have known this was going to happen for months, really, unless he was just waiting for like the final confirmation on it. Maybe he was still negotiating, like, well, no, I'll leave when it's announced, but I'll negotiating a payout.
And they're never going to let him take Esports Engine for himself because that's so much value. That's actually going to be a profitable company, I'm sure. I'm sure that's a profitable company. Like the amount of clients and work they were putting on.
Yeah. He'd have to buy it back, surely. Like, it's owned by Vindex, isn't it? So he'd have to find people to buy it back with, presumably.
Yeah. I don't see the value, too much value in Vindex without Esports Engine at this point. There's the belong infrastructure, but that's spinning out onto its own thing. That's going to be its own company again. Right. So,
you know what
and
else?
That's failing. So
in Apicella's release, he didn't thank Mike, Sepso, or Sundance to Giovanni.
Yeah.
Which he must have had a falling out with him, or maybe he's just really pissed off with him because of the acquisition. I mean, it seems like it's probably the Saudi thing that's made him want to leave.
Can't believe you've sold out type vibes. Like, this was supposed to be us doing this, and you've gone and sold out just when some money comes about. Like,
maybe we'll find out soon.
Yeah, it's either way. I respect the fella. You know what I mean? Like, it's a shame he has to step away from something he's worked hard to build, and I'm sure it's probably out of his control since it is technically part of Vindex. You know what I mean? But I hope he's got some of that Saudi money, and I hope he's fucked him off, like as it seems like it has. I hope he can afford to just chill and do fuck all and relax and really think about what he's doing next.
I just realised maybe that's why he waited until the very end, because like until the deal is signed, presumably he was a shareholder in Vindex, so he will have negotiated an exit clause, like exit clauses to like get a fat payout. That must have been why he waited until the very end.
That's what I'm saying, waiting for the wire transfer, because he's been doing a slow rollout for a couple of weeks. With the change of bio and stuff, but non-committal, I like this quote, and the quote's basically like, "Fuck you, motherfuckers!"
Like, yeah. He actually made me want to buy the book that he was pulling quotes from. To be fair, it seemed pretty cool.
Fair play to the geezer. And I saw that he hosted like all of the original employees of Esports Engine, and then some of the others. I think he said like 40 people at his own house, and they had like a local like Halo 1 or Halo 2 LAN. And you see the moment when they win, and you see Apicella, and he looks like the White Hulk. It is fucking insane. It's like, that geezer's a mad cut. You don't want to be pissing him off. So Sundance and Sepso, let's hope they don't run into him, because he looks like he could throw them. Like, you know what I mean? He could launch them halfway across Ohio. It's a madness. But like, I don't know. I still respect the history of Sepso and Sundance, what they've done with MLG and Activision Blizzard and building Vindex. Like, I really believed in Vindex in a sense. I thought if anyone could like create a new powerhouse company, it's going to be them. But yeah, I respect what they've done in the past, but now it's just like, you're one of the enemies for my money. Like, you've sold out just like so many others at this point, all the people at ESL and stuff. So that's a shame. But ultimate respect to Apicella, and if I don't know if anyone else from Esports Engine is going to be bouncing. We'll have to see on that front. I follow a few of them.
Oh, you must have some that'll follow Apicella.
Like, well, I'm sure he's just going to start another Avengers.
Yeah, he'll have a break and then probably come back and do the same thing. Will it be in esports? I probably will, because it's what he knows, and he'll presumably a bunch of clients of Esports Engines will trust Adam more than they trust the company. Like, Adam is the company, obviously.
Yeah.
So presumably
it's a tough one, because
a lot of them
between ESL, Faceit, DreamHack, and Esports Engine now, presuming they keep the same clients, there's not that much market left to go at.
No, I know.
Because they've got CS, they've got COD, they've got Halo. You're not getting in at Riot to run them as a third party. So like, there's not that many options at the top.
Who does Riot's like white label shit for like the LEC and Valorant and stuff? Do you know? Like, do they work with?
I think they run it in house.
Right. Interesting.
They're obviously like their European regional leagues. They'll partner with like Freaks for You Gaming and like third parties who are local to that kind of region or country. But I'm 99% sure it's in house. And like some of the design stuff and like the music videos and the marketing content, I guess that LEC do. That's a white label stuff with like a small like media house, just a media company with a few real smart people. I think they're called like Fellow Kids, might be the agency name or something along those lines. But so they do work elsewhere, but I don't think for like ops and stuff like there's like the referees and all that kind of shit are part of Riot. I'm pretty sure.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I was. I went to the side note, but I went to the LEC studio in Berlin. Fucking
Let's
sick.
talk about some actual esports for once instead of the business behind it. Eh?
Yeah. I watched the first week back. I think it's spring now, isn't it? Yeah, it must be. Yeah.
Winter. Is it not?
Winter's just finished. G2 won. G2 won LEC winter split.
For some reason, winter ends the season for me. But I know, yeah. I know
so it goes winter, spring, and then obviously summer. But I was there for the first weekend of spring, and it was really good, really, really good. The studio's sick.
Doesn't hold that many people though, right?
No, not really. But it was packed. Apparently, G2 fans just like buy the whole because I think there are a lot of G2s based in Berlin. There are a lot of G2 fans everywhere in Europe, but especially in Berlin, there are a lot of G2 fans. So apparently, they just buy up most of the tickets every time.
That reminds me of when Drake and Pusha T were beefing. There was a rumor went around that Drake bought out like the front three rows at a Pusha T concert and just didn't send anyone. So it was just loads of empty chairs. You know what I mean? It's just like so baller. It's like, fuck you lot, I'm so powerful. I've got unlimited fans and resources here, motherfuckers. Nice. G2 just buying out the little venue. Saying fuck you. Were there any like decent like activations from either teams or partners there, or is it just strictly games effectively?
Just the games. There's like the audience is obviously like at the back. There's like probably 10, 12, 15 maybe rows across, and then you've got as you're looking at the stage. Obviously, you've got the two teams. You've got the really like beautiful screens and like motion like effects and stuff that come on. Like if they like. Fucking kill Baron or whatever. Like different. As soon as something happens, like colors change. It's proper nice. And then to the right, you've got the casters, and then where they present before the broadcast. If that makes sense, not before the broadcast. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're not there. I don't know where they were. They must have been in the building somewhere, but I didn't see them.
Okay.
What question did you ask me again? I was actually going to.
I was just saying did any teams or partners of like the league activate?
Nah. I'm trying to think. I don't think I saw logos really. Wait, I must surely
because you watch like an ESL event, like when they probably still are sponsored or partnered with DHL, but like they would go through and like do some really cool shit there back 2019, 2020.
Maybe
I just feel like
it's like maybe because it's like a weekly thing. The brands don't bother activating every time. There might be like in the
it's
other
more
room where you can get.
That's where the eyes are anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And where you get like food and drinks and stuff, they had like a massive Baron figure and like different things like that. I'm trying to think if any of that was branded. I don't think it was.
Because there's still partner with KitKat for like a take a break activation when there's a technical pause. Like they should. I think they were partnered with Pringles at one point, and the food room should be packed with that stuff. You know what I mean? Like. Because these are the super fans who are coming to visit a lot of the time, who are there week in, week out. Those are the people I think as well you can like really make an impression on. But
I should have made a point of looking out for that stuff. But
you were just there for the vibes, bro. Like it was fine.
I was there for the vibes. I was also hungover as fuck. So
that seems to be like almost a trend. I just like
with me
drinking coffee or hungover. Like
it's true. Just to deal with my problems.
Living the dream.
Of which there are many. Living the dream, yes. But yeah.
Fucking hell.
So.
But that's cool though that you actually got to see some esports.
It was good. I also watched the Hertha Berlin game, which no one will care about watching this really, but
respect.
That was really good. In the Olympic Stadium. Really good. The atmosphere was sick. A lot of empty seats because the stadium's huge. But the atmosphere was fucking unreal. But yeah, it was good, man. Like I said, at that point I was really hungover. So it was a bit shit.
I've got a question. The comparing the fans, the LEC versus the Berlin footy match, which set of fans seemed the most socially awkward? That's a serious question.
It's definitely the fucking esports fans, mate. But I also, you know what I thought? I thought I actually really like the atmosphere and like the culture at esports events. Every time I go to one, I'm like, I love this. I feel like everyone's because I'm not the most fucking outgoing person really. I'm a bit like, I'm just in myself. I'm introverted. and everyone else seems to be, and everyone's like, but when something happens, they'll go mad, and then you'll sit back down and just be like,
oh, sorry about that. I'm a bit crazy.
Yeah, the atmosphere is sick, and like, yeah, it's cool as well being amongst other people, because I watch League of Legends. I don't always know. I mean, I know enough about it. I don't always know when something happens what to watch out for. So watching it with other people that do, every little thing they react to in unison. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Okay. That's cool.
So that's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty. It enhanced the experience a little bit.
Cool shit, man. So I think one more topic to round out this episode.
Yeah.
It's relevant to what we've discussed in the past. It feeds into it, and that's the impending arrival of what is trademarked as Counter-Strike 2. So I believe it is going to be called Counter-Strike 2. And yesterday they had in their Twitter header 5 logos. Today they have 4 as of recording this. So I assume tomorrow will be 3. The day after that will be 2. So I think we're probably 4 days out from the beta being released. Is the theory? I think so.
Right, okay.
So yeah, big old Richard Lewis broke it. He went independent, broke it straight away. Absolute fucking bomb. The first like actual credible report, like piece of evidence, anything on CS 2. There's always been rumors of like Source 2 coming out, a new platform for the game, and it produces a bunch of questions on the business side, which lead into what you said before. So I know you said like the impermanence, is that a word, of like games. Like football's been around for fucking so long, whereas a game can just come and go out of nowhere. Like Valorant can come in and shake up how CSGO is. Like CS2 can come in and potentially just replace CSGO out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like if Valve are just like, yeah, we don't permit anyone to compete on this game anymore. You have to play the new one to market that. Like that can happen. Like they don't give a fuck, do they? So
and that
they don't
crossover,
care.
that crossover period could really hurt CS2, because like, what if some players test the new game and like, I actually don't like that very much. Let me go and play Valorant instead, or fucking another one. So it's a risk, man, and like the publishers will always prioritize that. They'll always prioritize a new game or a new version of a game because they care way more about their bottom line than they do about esports. So
do the skins cross over from CSGO to Counter-Strike 2, where people have put thousands of dollars in? You know what I mean? There's so many different questions about this, even from like a casual. Like, what if the game is shit and bugged to hell? It's a beta, so like typically things are not going to go great. They've got to stress test it. Also, CSGO's still breaking records for like concurrent players. Like I think it broke one like a week or two, maybe 2-3 weeks ago, where it was like 1.2 million people. I think it was like playing all at once. Like it's still breaking records. It's at the height of its relevance and popularity. Like it's got a decent esports structure around it, even though most of it's owned by one company now. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's at a point where it's like this is not. CS:GO is the opposite of dead. It is thriving, generally speaking, and they're gonna bring a new version in, which as we have to see the extent of how it replaces CS:GO. If there's a slow rollout, if there's concurrent scenes, competitive scenes running for it. And that's a really big shake-up because some people who are going to be really good at CSGO may just fall behind a little bit when it comes to CS2. You never know. Like we don't know the nuances of the game, and if it's on a new engine and stuff, like maybe there's new movement involved, or like you never know what it could be. I just think there's a huge shake-up coming, and it really speaks to a point you've made a few times on the show about like the fact, almost the flippant nature of esports, where just one day it can appear, the next it can be gone, and who knows what comes from there.
Exactly. I saw somebody actually. I don't know. I mean, I'm not old enough to have played like fucking Source and 1.6 religiously. Like I've never really had a PC going back that far. But like there were people saying that there were players that were really, really like some of the best in the world on maybe 1.6 or Source. But like when it went over to CS:GO, I think a lot of that changed. I think there are some players that you think of as being like really good in one, and then when the transition happened, they were less good in the next one. So like that could, so like how do you know that something so little might be the trigger? It probably won't be, but it might be. It could easily be the trigger to I don't know, just a chain reaction of people kind of not being as interested in the esports scene of Counter Strike.
Yeah, and I mean, among the top are like the very elite. It's the minutia that separates the best people. If you take out Simple and like Monacy, for example, like and Nico, in a sense, like those like unreal players where they've got something else. But like among the top, it's almost like it's the in-game knowledge, like knowing a new strategy and like putting in the hours to like iteratively build on your strategy and work out, okay, this is how this team has always played. Like we need to do this against them, whatever. Like you're starting from a fresh slate, like from absolute scratch, presuming there's new maps or even just the new system, the new engine comes in, like that resets it all. So there's bound to be new, like fresh blood that comes through. You know what I mean? Like, and for a while, it will just be the Simples of the world who have just got those mechanics down, like beyond like anything else. Like you just can't match it. Who are just going to absolutely wreck it until the nuances of the game can actually like shine through, unless it's played entirely on existing maps, and it is basically just an updated version of CS:GO. But with them stripping the global offensive part and calling it CS2, and it's on a new engine, I have to assume there's going to be new elements to the game. There's going to be fresh maps, surely, even if it's a handful. There's still some existing maps like a Dust 2, or maybe they bring Train back or something. I just think it's going to be a really rocky period. A very interesting one to see, because we saw Overwatch to Overwatch 2. Basically, the structure of the esports scene stayed the exact same. They just brought in a new game. Whereas we don't know how this is going to go. As I was saying to you before recording this, like we've got the Louvre agreement for the ESL Pro League. What if that is very strictly in the contract speaking about global offensive? What if global offensive disappears, Valve no longer permit play on it, and then CS2's in? Do those deals stand? Does it matter? Like, what? We don't know how it's going to affect like the business side of stuff on like a boring level. I guess like the real granular level of like how these things are set up. Will ESL honor contracts or make like forced buy-ins again? Like if it did go that way, like there's so many different things that we're going to see. I think I have to assume it's going to get quite messy. It's exciting in a sense to change things up, but I also think CS:GO as a game was in an amazing place, and it's still great to watch. So it's a really weird one, but I think we don't have too long to wait until we start seeing the ramifications of it. Because I think as of recording this, it's out in 4 days. The beta, at least. Maybe they wait until it's full release. But games seem to be they get released and then just iteratively improved until they're at a point where people love playing it, as opposed to here's the beta and in 2 months we're releasing a full game. Like it don't really go that way anymore.
Yeah. It's a risk, and it'll have implications for esports, definitely.
So again, I just wanted to bring it up because it feeds. One, it's very interesting to see what will happen, and two, it feeds into what you've been saying before, where I'm like, well, like the big titles aren't going to go anywhere, like, and then just out of nowhere, like CS2's coming, and it's like, oh shit, how is this going to change things?
And
I really just hope it doesn't fuck the franchise on a competitive level. I really hope it doesn't. It's the best esport. It's the best esport.
Yeah, it should be all right. I think it probably will. I think like the optimist's view is that you execute this really well. It's basically the same, but just better in like every way that matters. Better graphics, better everything. More nuanced. It boosts the player base, therefore boosting the esports viewership and things like that. Skins they might completely revamp and like add more. Like it could like double the game size. Like people love it that are purists. This could bring in new people that are younger, that have never played Counter Strike. Like some people that play Valorant regularly will think, oh yeah, I'll try that, and then they play it and they're like, wow, this is well better than fucking Valorant. Jesus Christ. So yeah, no, it's exciting. I think these are probably like, very bitty, picky things about the contracts and stuff that probably aren't going to be an issue in reality. But like you said, you just don't know.
Yeah.
So
they're the parts that I find interesting as
me too.
a little esports business nerd. Like those are the bits that interest me. But I think people come to us for that stuff. Generally, I can't give you the best takes on the actual like casual gameplay and stuff. Besides, I hope it's good. I will not be playing because I don't play games like that anymore. But Is there anything else we want to discuss before El Rapo and El Oppo? Or
let me have a little look. Nah, I don't think so. I think we're good. It was sweet.
I wonder if they were planning CS2 before Valorant came along, or if they were just going to keep CSGO chugging until the natural competitor came and then go, oh, okay, now it's on time to unleash the weapon.
That's a really good question. It's a really good question, genuinely.
Maybe one day we'll get an answer to that, but I don't know if Valve are very interview friendly. Like, they're quite reclusive.
They're definitely reclusive. Fucking hell.
But if that's it, then we will end it here. So it's quicker for me to export and upload instead of just rambling.
I still don't know how we're going to angle the clickbait, but I guess we'll figure it out.
I think CS2. I think that's like reaching maximum pre-launch hype.
Okay, and you have a lot of viewership crossover with the likes of Richard and Thorin, so it's probably a good idea.
Yeah, so we will do that. I will chuck some stuff at you, but that's something we can discuss after this. So there we go. We've been
recording with you, mate. I hope your job's going well. And I love you.
Thank you very much. It's good to see that you got back in one piece. Love you too. And let's record again soon.
Said that through gritted teeth, then. Love you too.
It's hard, man. Like, it's hard. It's hard, but we got there.
Thank you for watching.
We'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.
Peace.